the Two Robbies Podcast, your destination for in-depth discussion and analysis of the Premier League. I'm Robbie Mustoe, he's Robbie Earle, and here are today's topics. A Dominik Szoboszlai moment of magic lifts Liverpool to victory over Arsenal after a tense top-of-the-table clash. Late Bruno Fernandes penalty rescues Ruben Amorim and Manchester United in a narrow win over Burnley following midweek Carabao Cup shocker, and Josh King sees his goal controversially disallowed by VAR as Chelsea edge Fulham in a fiery West London derby at Stamford Bridge. That's what we've got coming up and more in today's episode.
Okay, my friend, only one place to start. I know you felt this game maybe came a little early in the season. We're third game in. Yep. Liverpool hosting Arsenal, the two teams that many believe either one could win the title this year. Liverpool, can they go back-to-back defending it? Arsenal, can they go one better than they have the last three seasons? There was never anything going to be too definitive, I don't think, from a result today. We're three games in. You know, both teams still sorting things out, finding their feet, new players, new structure. Arsenal came in with a couple of injuries to key players.
Why don't we start with the lineup?
The two lineups.
Yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool's was fairly kind of...
Robbies in the right-back position that we've seen recently. Yeah, because they've got a little bit of an issue at the moment at right-back, but the rest of it was expected. Now, Arsenal had decisions to make, and Mikel Arteta had big decisions to make, given the injuries to certain players. Martin Odegaard wasn't seen as being fit enough to play, started on the bench, came into the game later on, and of course Saka's out. Yeah, Havertz out,
There was different kind of thoughts. We spoke about it on a production meeting.
Yeah.
Is Bercher Eze going to start?
Yeah.
Only after being there for, I think, 3 days with the team away at Anfield. Who's going to start in midfield? Yeah. It was Mikel Merino that started in midfield, and it was Martinelli that started wide left and not Eze.
So Zubimendi, Rice is a three.
How did you feel about that? Do you think that was cautious? Would you have done that? Like, was it too early?
No, I don't think it was. I mean, whatever happened today, in answering your question, whatever happened today, I was trying to say before the game that people will use it as an indicator. If Arsenal win, Arsenal, this time they're ready to go. If Arsenal lose, they're still not ready, he's made mistakes. So Arsenal lost, and we'll talk about the way it lost and a brilliant goal, but they lost. So guess what's going to happen? There's going to be certain people in the press who are going to look for a reason to say, they were too cautious. They had lots of possession. He's played Merino instead of starting Eze. Let me tell you where I am in terms of the Eze thing. Brilliant footballer, plays with a little bit at times of freedom and not always in a team way, which Arteta talked about, which is important because that's who he is. But when you go to a team like Arsenal, there's learnings, Rob, about where you need to be with the ball, where you need to be without the ball, what your connections are to your midfield players, to your fullbacks. That doesn't happen in a week's training. That can take a few weeks, a couple of months to settle in, to understand. So I thought it would be a risk to throw Eze in at the start, and not sure if I would have done it.
If you'd have played him?
If I'd have played him, yeah.
Yeah, I
just because I'm playing Liverpool.
I tell you what I do agree with. I do agree with you that certain people that feel a certain way about Arteta and Arsenal, when the goal goes in and the final whistle blows and they've lost the game, that they'll find ways to have a go and criticise the manager, the team, the club, here we go again type of thing, all this kind of stuff. I think the fairest way, and I hope that we've been fair forever, right, is that we see a game of football with no kind of bias or wanting to jump on or whatever, and we take a game for what it is. This is match day 3. I'm taking this how I want to take it. Let's have a look at these two very promising teams. Yeah. There's been changes in both lineups. How do they look? How do they look? What they got options off the bench? And do you know what? After this game, there was nothing in it. There was nothing in it. Arsenal had really good control of the midfield in the first half. Yeah. I criticised them on our show at half-time as that's good control of midfield. Yeah. Go and be a little bit more dynamic. Be a little bit more hungry to score.
So I suppose the question would be, and let's play devil's advocate, does Eze give you a little bit more with that control? Do you get a chance to get him in areas that he might be able to do something more than maybe a Martinelli or a
part of that control? I remember looking at Martinelli closely in this game, because I knew what was going to happen, and I know that I'd rather have Eze in there in terms of the attacking part. Yeah. But Martinelli still does important stuff without the ball. There's a couple of challenges that he made. He showed up in and
Doubles
around the
up with his
box.
fullback
He tracks
a
his
little bit.
fullback. You know, stuff that when you go away to the champions like Liverpool and Anfield,
You've got to
you know,
respect
you
that,
kind of
haven't you?
respect. It's kind of an important part of it. Now, if there's people out there, and of course, you know, some might say that SFAs are out there. Arsenal need to score goals. They need to win this game. They got to, and that's their opinion. That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't have a big problem with Martinelli starting. But the other side of that, of course, when you're controlling the game and it's going really well, you really want your attacking players to do some business.
Yeah.
They're missing the best attacking player, Bukayo Saka. Second half was different, Rob.
Yeah.
Liverpool, and fair play to the manager. This is where, you know, at half time, I think we spoke about it. Okay, on a slot, that didn't go great. Like, what are you going to do to whip up the lads and get them to tilt that balance of possession and territory? And he did it.
He's
and they were
quite
much
good at
better.
that, isn't he? To be fair to
Yeah.
him, when things aren't going quite his way, he does find a way of tweaking
does.
things. He gets Szoboszlai in at midfield. He got Gomez on.
Yeah, I think Kirke's position was a little different a couple of
Yeah.
times. He was really far. Just little
Subtle
ways,
things, but he
subtle
changed.
things,
He changed
yeah.
the control, and
Really
all of a
did.
sudden,
That's the
Liverpool
he
started
absolutely
to
did.
have game.
Yeah.
I also felt, Robbie, it was a day when I didn't think any forward on the pitch played particularly well. The defenders on the pitch were better than the attackers on the
Yeah.
pitch on both sides.
Yeah.
That being said, I was a little disappointed in Gyökeres. I've got to be honest. And I know, listen, it's very early, and I don't want. I'm not saying he's not ready or it's not the right thing. I'm delighted they've got him. He's got a couple of goals against Leeds last weekend. He's the striker, been the missing piece that they need, and he hopefully he's going to get 15 to 20 goals. It's going to take Arsenal to another level. I just felt today in a big game, and there was a certain element of control. I didn't feel as though he was a threat, as big a threat as I would have liked.
Is that partly that the wide players didn't really get behind their fullbacks?
Could
and
well be.
cross
Could
balls
well be.
in or
Wasn't
pull balls
a
back
day
for
when
him?
there was a lot of great service. So absolutely going to hold judgment. It's way too early to make any kind of decision. But just like, you know, okay, big games and that's, you know, odd chances. And, you know, that's what Mo Salah's done for Liverpool over the years. From that left side, come up with big moments when they've needed it. He's got to become a big moment guy as well, Rob.
And first impressions, you know, sometimes are quite telling. You look at Hugo Ekitike, and his first impressions are, wow, looks really good.
Good player, yeah.
Really links play well. He looks a threat. We've seen excellent finishes from him already this season. Again, another player that the defenders were better than the attackers.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen more from Ekitike, to be fair, than Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean, and it is a little bit early yet. Second half was different. Liverpool
Florian
had more.
Wirtz, by the way, just go to him,
Yeah, okay.
Rob.
Yeah.
We're talking about players making an impression. It's been he's had a difficult start, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he had a
decent
difficult
games,
start.
but the Premier League is different, and it's a tough league.
It's very tough. It's very physical. It's very fast. Again, a difficult game for him to try and get to grips with. He hasn't been able to dominate yet. He hasn't made that key play, that moment where the fans give an O, like you know. Or he hasn't made that get off the seat moment yet. And I think we know that we can see that he's very neat and tidy, and he's still very young, isn't he?
Yeah.
21 or 22, I think, isn't he? He's very young, so. And I think that's hurting Liverpool at the moment. It's hurting their midfield.
Yeah.
And I just we wondered if they might change it, put Szoboszlai back in midfield, and maybe bring him out of the game.
Yeah.
So that again, like Gyökeres, it's just a bit concerning.
Yes.
we
Might take a moment.
It might take a moment. Some don't, some do.
Yeah.
But that's you know, the physicality, the speed of it, the quick decisions that he's have to make in the Premier League. He isn't being effective at the moment.
So to your point about the Arteta piece, do you think he reflects on that game with any regret? He talked about being really proud of his team. They played football. There wasn't much between them, as you said. It was a really high tactical game. No forward was really had any great. You know, it wasn't a forward's day.
I don't think he has a regret.
Like,
Maybe he's disappointed.
He thought
that in
they
the
played
first
better
half,
this game
Yeah,
losing
well, they
than
were.
they did the draw
I mean,
last
they
time
were
around.
roll the sleeves up. They were
They were aggressive, by the way. For 15 or 20 minutes, they got about the game.
But he was happier with the progression
football,
and having the football and going to Anfield and quieting the fans. And it's just the disappointing bit from my point of view is that they didn't take that step on and create a little bit more.
Yeah.
You're not always going to score, but create a little bit more. And I just thought there was moments, Rob, where they had possession, and they were a little safe with it.
Yeah, they went square
They were a
and
little
back
square,
rather than
safe
going.
with it, thinking this is kind of nice.
Yeah,
We're having
in
the ball
control.
and we're quieting the fans and stuff.
So it's a good point. Is that part of the learning? Is that part of the little bit that's the difference for them, for that team? Like when they're controlling, when they're that. Let's be a little bit more.
Piece.
Yeah, let's be a little bit more.
You maybe like last year is like dig in, fight, grind, get a point. Right. The next stage is all right. Can we possess a little bit?
Yeah.
Can we push them under pressure? Which they did that, and then the final piece is turning that into open play chances, getting behind, curating, scoring, and being special. I mean, Odegaard missing is not ideal for them.
I thought he came
and
back
Saka, missing is not ideal in that sense of that last piece.
Yeah, the last piece. Yeah.
But the narrative changes, Robbie Earle, with the strike of the football from a Hungarian player that makes the people of Hungary very, very proud.
I think you said it's a
what a
very
strike.
American play. You know, champions find a way.
Find a way to win.
And it's individuals, it's special moments. Sometimes it's spirit, sometimes it's collective. It was an individual 32 yards away from goal. He has to get a ball over a wall that's jumping as high as it can. He's got to dip it underneath a crossbar. He's got to bend it away from a goalkeeper who's going at full tilt to get there. Yeah. It's a brilliant, outstanding bit of football, worthy of winning a game of that calibre. And that was a difference.
Yep.
His quality in that. And it was interesting that he talked after the game and said, he practices that. Him and Trent used to stay out and things like that. And I'm thinking, Trent might have still to have done that today, to have hit that ball
far out.
so far.
He needed a lot more
It's a
power.
long way away, 32 yards from the goal.
Yeah.
That's a special skill. And I think, you've talked about him a few times, like, he's a lot more to Liverpool than maybe some people give credit for. Sometimes I just think, like today, they missed his energy in midfield, Rob. When Liverpool when Arsenal were dominating, they didn't have the legs to get about them, which Szoboszlai does.
That's right. I'm not sure they would have dominated if he's in midfield today so much. Calafiori does a great job, by the way, coming in from left back, rolling into midfield. Zubimendi, like you did a little package about, he drops back,
and
gets on the ball. Declan Rice does too. Calafiori comes in there as well. They have a lot. They flooded
good
it.
numbers
and they
in
had a little bit of control in there.
Yeah.
But Szoboszlai, Rob, and he hasn't. Yeah, I'm not going to give him the underappreciated performer of the weekend, though I feel he is a little underappreciated. I think he was the first player when Florian Wirtz comes to the club. Well, Szoboszlai will drop out. He hasn't done much. I think he's a really important player. He's one of them. He's got an amazing engine. Yeah. He's done a brilliant job at fullback twice now, and he comes up with a goal like that. So I'm pleased for him. I really am pleased for him. And it was a special moment to win the game.
I remember we saw Szoboszlai. I think it was Liverpool. Was it Chelsea? We saw him playing live when we saw him when he first came to the football club.
Yeah.
And we said, wow, he's got some engine. He's got some engine.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm wondering if with Wirtz, does he have to get a bit of that playing at a
physicality?
Physicality. Does he have to get up to speed with that? Because all the best players can do that. Have got that in the bag as well as the technical ability.
Is Florian Wirtz, is his technicality outstanding enough not to have to have...
Odegaard-esque. Would that be a decent comeback? Yeah. Odegaard's not overly athletic. I mean, he can get... But his technically
excellent.
Yeah.
And we got to see that level of technicality from Wirtz.
Yeah.
We've got to see
Absolutely.
it. If not, and maybe I'll regret saying this, if not, he's an expensive Curtis Jones or a Harvey Elliott. Well, I'm just saying. Those players are neat and tidy, Rob.
Yeah.
They're neat and tidy. They can run around. They can look really good, and they're good on the ball. Wirtz has got to show the difference that he can make.
Yeah.
And it's early. But that's what the money, the big fee is, the reputation. Yeah. He's got to make more of a difference than other technical players that might play for a club like Liverpool in midfield. So I think we'll see it because I think he's a special player.
Yeah.
But we have got to see it. Our other players are going to say, well, hang on a minute, Gaffer, what is he doing a lot more than what I can do?
Yeah.
But we'll see. One thing, Robert, I want to mention, just a moment of concern for Arsenal, is the injuries. And
it seems that we're hearing news that Saliba might have got an ankle injury during the warm-ups.
And they
had a conversation. It felt like
he's okay to start
because Mosquera was almost ready to go within a few minutes of him going down straight away. It was like it was set.
And we don't know how that happened.
We don't know
we
what
know
it
Saka's
was,
got a
what
hamstring.
happened.
We know got Kai Havertz is having a knee surgery, isn't he?
They can't afford another season where the injuries underpin the football.
Because it's something else. It's
Yeah,
not. It's you got to look at your practices.
Yeah.
How you do things.
Training, warm-ups.
I don't see. Liverpool get fewer injuries last year. So I hope it's not going to be a conversation this year about they're missing him and missing him.
It'll be a shame for Arsenal, it'll be a shame for the league because it breaks the competition.
Plus they have bumped out their squad.
You said that's a strong squad, isn't it?
Yeah, and they will be able to cope with a lot of injuries. But today when you're at Liverpool away, you're one of your best guys out there, really.
In the grand scheme of things, and again, generalism without being specific, Liverpool haven't particularly started the season that well. Got wins.
But look what they are. They got 3 wins out of 3.
3 wins out of 3.
And they're nowhere.
No.
Salah was nowhere near today.
No.
Ekitike, he's done well, to be fair, Ekitike. So a quieter one you can accept.
Thought Kanate played well today, by the way. I thought he deserves a little bit of credit. It's like his level's gone boom, and I don't know if Gay ends up coming in and whatever. Thought he was right at it today.
Yeah, so as we leave this game, Rob, anything different about how you see it? And we know it's very early.
Yeah.
I think there's signs of encouragement for both. The fact that Liverpool haven't been anywhere near their best and they got 3 out of 3, they've had difficult matches, really difficult matches, bodes well for them. The window, this is recording on Sunday night.
Yeah.
The window is tomorrow.
There could be Isak in the door and Gay, couldn't there?
Yeah. And that's excellent.
Game changer. That's game changer.
Excellent recruiting and options that the manager have up front now. So if those two come in, wow, that's going to take some beat.
The only thing I take away, and we heard Mikel Arteta, and obviously he's disappointed, proud of how his team played, loved the control in the first half that we talked about, said he'd liked a little bit more in the last third. I just hope that the narrative I knew was going to come, Arteta's done this, you've got to let them free, or blah, 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 blah. I hope this team just continue to do what they've done, believe in what they're doing, and continue down the path.
Close out the noise.
Yeah, get rid of the noise, because the noise is going to come, because people can't wait to start the noise. The bottlers, the this, the that, the that. Stick to what you do, believe in what you do, take a little bit from how you dominate the game in the first half, and continue to push. Yeah. Don't get sloppy, don't drop silly points that it's going to give a little bit of a gap and it's going to too much to close. There's reverse fixture to come at the Emirates. If that's where you've got to put it right, then so be it.
If you want to be champions of the Premier League, you got to win. You have to beat anybody at home.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Old Trafford, my friend, where the headlines were out.
There's never a dull moment.
There is never a dull moment at Manchester United. There's never a dull moment with Ruben Amorim as a manager. Manchester United have lost in the Carabao Cup against Grimsby in penalties. So, again, spotlight on Manchester United, on the team, on the goalkeeper, on everything to do with United. They're facing Burnley at home, and Ruben Amorim basically said, it's a game we must win. There are no excuses, were his words at the start of the game.
And you never hear a manager say that.
No. So why is he saying it then? What's it? What benefit?
There's a little bit of talk out there that he's close to jacking it in a little bit,
which would be incredible for a manager in that club with the kind of contract to say they're walking away from the contract, they're walking away from a lot of money, but they just feel it's not right.
I feel like the emotion, the pressure is really getting to him. After a very difficult and taxing and trying season,
6 months.
He's saying stuff like good times are on their way. He's signing players that he says himself, we're a different team now. I remember him saying that just before the season started. And then you go away and you get a result like Grimsby. Yeah. He's probably feel the world is closing in on him, and he's like, you know what, we got to win this game. And I'm thinking, but what if you don't?
Yeah.
Where do you go from here?
Whose benefit is it to say that? Is it a jolt to the players a little bit like, you need a bit more? Is it him kind of putting out there to the ownership?
He has admitted, I am how I am, and I'm going to say stuff, I'm emotional.
Yeah.
And before we get onto the game, just quickly chat that, because it's okay to be emotional as a manager. The very best are emotional.
Yeah, really emotional.
Crazy on the sideline.
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp, emotional.
Yeah.
Difference is, press conferences.
Yeah.
They
don't give you any of that,
to calm down.
And they don't give you a way for you to be asking questions about their team and about what's happening.
The sad thing is, because he's so open and honest, as a reporter, right? If I'm answering, I can literally ask him anything.
Yeah.
He's going to give me something honest.
Yeah.
That's just
that's
not a good way to be. And I know that everybody that it's great that we get that. But the big managers or the experienced managers are basically going to
talk without telling you anything. Talk without telling you anything.
Boring. And sadly he
is that something that he might have to change?
I don't think he's going to change. He said to say how I am. Sometimes I love the team, sometimes I don't like the team, sometimes this, that, and the other. He's letting himself be fully open. He's an open book about his emotions.
Yeah, I do get that. Let me just ask you the question. We must win. There's no excuses. I would almost say Sir Alex Ferguson would say that every week, whoever they were playing. So why, because is he saying, because it's Burnley after the Grimsby, this should happen? Manchester United's ambition should be to win every game.
Yeah, but the way he said it, Rob, and the context that's around it, given what just happened in the Carabao Cup.
Like, if I don't get this one,
like
I'll
if we don't win this, then there's no excuses and I'm done. I mean, anyway, they did win.
Yeah.
Right? And we continue watching this thing. And I really hope, I like his honesty. And I like the way he's trying to build this team. I feel like recruitment has put him in a difficult situation, or he has himself.
Yeah, we don't know about that.
Nearly $300
million on forwards.
On forward players, and which leaving big gaps in the middle of the park and the goalkeeper. Emi Martinez is strongly rumoured for tomorrow, the last day, to go to Man United. I mean, I think that solves a problem. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. Yeah. He's got a rick in him a little bit, but generally...
He's got the personality, hasn't he?
He's got personality to handle the job. Now, whether they find a central midfield player, I don't know. I fear that the money spent and the encouragement and the hope is all in those front players, and that the gaps and the cracks that are there is still there, and it might stop this thing from rolling forward with the hope and the anticipation that the United fans have got.
Is there no... We'll talk about West Ham later, but I think before the game today I said about, there's a front three for West Ham that could score goals. They're top 10. The back three in midfield, not good enough. And we saw a different West Ham today, and it produced a different result. Is there a way he could shore things up with this group of players? I mean, we don't know at this stage what's going to come in and out at Old Trafford. They sold Garnacho's got sold to Chelsea now. I don't know if that's going to release a little bit more money. They've still got a lot of players who they're trying to get out the door on good salaries who don't want to leave. But let's just work on the basis before the transfer window closes that he's left with this group. He's got to find a way to close things down.
I don't know, mate. We've seen months and months of this now.
So I had a thought last night, because we're saying, okay, you need to go and buy one, and Balaba was the talk, and blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm just chucking this out there as a point. Is there anybody else in that group? I'm looking like, again...
Well, that can help them. This right there with them.
Yeah. Could Lenny Yoro play in midfield as a holding next to somebody? Just bear with me. So I've got three other sets. So I've got Mazraoui, I've got De Ligt, I've got Maguire, I've got Martinez. An athletic midfield, who can see danger, who would track runners, who would understand the role, and he can play.
He can
bang a ball into midfield and get people to
start. It's not an awful shout.
So I'm not saying he's a solution, but he might plug a gap next to Bruno, or if it's not Bruno, Ugarte or Mainu.
Somebody.
But we keep seeing Man United, and we're midfield players, so we know the role, and we say, he's going to run off him. He's going. Lenny Yoro would have the understanding he'd be more interested in running back and following him than running forward.
Correct. Yeah.
So, is there somebody in that group?
I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all.
Is he, Rodri-esque?
Yeah. Well, also now the big problem is Mateus Cunha went off with an injury.
Hamstring.
Now that might mean that Bruno Fernandes can play higher. Again, this goes back to to replacing the whole of the front line. Yeah. That's where Bruno is best at. Yeah, so now where is he play? And I don't like him as a 6 or as one of those two holding midfield. I just don't. No. So they didn't need to buy 3. Bruno still should be playing up there, and somebody else should be in the middle of the park. But Lenny Yoro's not a bad shout. Never heard that before. Great shout from left field. I mean, maybe it's going to take a couple of us to get fit, but we haven't seen any hint from the manager doing that. But I think that's a good idea of something if they don't find a player that might help.
Instead of keep going down the same route, Ugarte, Casemiro, then keep telling us it doesn't work. Okay, well, You got to find a solution,
and it helps build you a better foundation, Rob.
Correct.
You know, a better
More
foundation.
defensive. Yeah.
And I know he's trying to play and he's trying to get his system across there, and at times they're a little bit open, but a little bit more defensive-minded, reliable guy in there, I think would actually help. Yeah. We'll see how this continues, mate. And
so talking the game through, I mean, now you go ahead, they get themselves head through the own goal through Cullen, and then Lyle Foster ends up bringing them back into the game. A couple of minutes later, to be fair, and Bournemouth gets a nice goal, so the 2-1 up.
As well.
Then you're thinking, can we control the game? It doesn't seem to work like that, and then Jane Anthony scores a good goal for
he scores
Burnley.
for them, and then he pulls Ahmad Diallo.
And it was a foul.
I think it was
a
a foul.
He had hold of him outside the box, but he kept hold of him too long.
Yeah.
And then, I've got to be honest, Bruno Fernandes, who missed a penalty last weekend, remember scored one at Fulham, there was some pressure on him based on all that had happened during the week and the loss to Grimsby. And fair play to the captain. I know he gets a lot of criticism from a lot of people, but he didn't half hold his nerve.
He held his nerve.
It was a massive goal.
There was a massive goal, big celebration. Yeah. Some cynics out there saying like Man United beating Burnley, like they celebrate like they won the World Cup. I mean, there was a big celebration, and I get it, and it is stumbling along a little bit, you know. But that is a big goal, and we'll see. You know, I just want to see the team. You know, the next couple of months, Rob. You know what happens to Man United. If he has a couple of bad results now, the Pasha goes back on again, and this would become untenable in the next few weeks if things don't get better. Yeah. There's got to be some improvement now. They have spent some money. I say there's holes in the team, and there still is, but there's still some good front, players.
Some talented players.
So he's got to find a way, mate. However he does it, he's got to find a way to get some more consistent performance to keep the fans on board, because they're good fans, Man United.
Yeah, absolutely. The fans have been incredible.
Yeah.
A couple of wins maybe.
Well, they won.
Could change things up, but as expected, there was no excuses. They got the win. They got the 3 points.
Look at Man City next time, mate, in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah,
Man City away. Who knows what might happen to that game?
We'll chat that just before we finish the potty. Okay. Let's go to Stamford Bridge, where some are suggesting, and I know you weren't as strong as I've heard you on a call, one of the worst VAR decisions that we've seen since it's been involved in the game, and how it kind of sucked the life out of the game, just took away what's starting to be the love of the game for a really poor decision, which actually PGMO or PGMOL as they were known have actually come forward and admitted it was a mistake, and the VR guy was taken off the game today. So at least that has happened. But just talk through the situation.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, why I think it's one of the worst is, you know, there's been lots of decisions that were like, well, that's a mistake, or was that really that aggressive, or was that high, or whatever. But this was a football move that was seen as a reckless, was it the reckless challenge?
Careless challenge.
Careless challenge. You know, on the ball. Now, I think if you know the game a little bit, and you've played a little bit, you've watched a lot of football, you know, it was one of those little, it's a little skill move. You know, and to do it, you have to kind of, you jump up and you roll the foot on the ball, and you kind of swivel turn. So when you've jumped up and you've moved the ball, he got to the ball first, by the way.
Yeah,
he's not challenging. He's got to the ball, and then when he came down, he landed on the player's foot.
Put his foot down,
and for the official to sort of just zoom out on what was going on there, and just see a foot on a foot, which is.
Well, in fairness, the referee didn't see that first, did he? Because the referee saw it and played on, and Josh King goes forward and scores his first goal. 18-year-old kid, beautiful goal, and we think it's 1-0 to Fulham. And then VAR calls the referee and says, "You need to look at this." And that's when he goes over.
Why didn't Rob Jones, Rob?
Yeah.
Why didn't Rob Jones? We were in the studio and we said, please, please, just reject it.
Yeah.
He could have said, Salisbury, isn't it? Salisbury, yeah. I see it. Yeah, I think he's just trying to do a move there. I don't think he's really fouling or attempting. You know, I get you, and I'm going to. But he didn't, and he said, you know what? On
it was a careless challenge.
It was a careless challenge, and it's. It denies this great goal. Marco Silva was bubbling on the sideline, you know, and I get it because because of the nature of that movement, that's not even a tackle.
No,
that's an attacking play on the ball. It's like me and you, Rob, going for a ball, right? We both jump up.
Yeah.
I head in the back of the net. I land on your foot
on my toe,
and you jump
and
around,
and
they say,
well, the ref
it's
go
a
to
foul,
VAR.
it's a foot on the top of a foot. Well, no, I made a play on the ball. I
Yeah.
got to it, and I
Yeah.
landed on your
Yeah.
foot. That's
It's a
just the way it
contact. Yeah,
goes.
it's
so,
normal.
that was it. Put a. I mean, I think the Fulham players never recovered.
No,
The manager probably never recovered.
Absolutely.
And it went on
I
to
had
be-
friends who were Chelsea fans, mate, who said it was a shocking
I had
decision.
lots of social media messages like, even though I'm a Chelsea fan, and that's not really great. And João Pedro scores again, Rob,
Yeah.
from a set piece.
Gets it from
That
the
wasn't
corner.
great
Yeah,
defending
not
from
great
Fulham.
defending just before the half time, which was probably in the injury time that the VAR had taken. I think it was 6 minutes or so. So he scores his goal late on, which is a double whammy, and then Fernandes gets a penalty that makes it 2-0. But after that incident, it was almost like the game felt irrelevant, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean Chelsea are another team, Rob. I look at the league table. 3 games in, granted.
Yeah.
They've won 2 and drawn 1. They're 7 points. They're right behind Liverpool. They've got some changes to deal with too. They got Liam Delap, went off another player went off injured.
injured. Yeah.
They've got João Pedro and then Esteval. That's 3 of a front 4, if you like, that are new. So they're again adjusting. And at some point, Chelsea have got to find some continuity and instead of changing the team all the time.
Garnacho's come in, remember? So that's another
one.
signing. And, Gitting's on that left-hand side. And like you say, you just feel like there needs to be a little bit of consistency about the place, the dressing room, the team, the selection.
We'll see that do tomorrow. But it's a good victory for Chelsea.
Yeah, it's a good victory.
I think they're going to get better. They get players to come back. I think Wesley Fofana is going to come back and start soon as one of the defending players. The midfield is very strong. Esteval showed flashes of his skills and the ability that he's got. So well done, Chelsea. But you feel the main takeaway from that is that decision. How that's just not football.
No, it felt like it changed the whole game.
Yeah.
That poor decision. Yeah. Okay, mate, 2 other results.
Pick out some stuff.
Yeah, Brighton 2, Manchester City 1. Back-to-back defeats for Manchester City. Let's give some credit to Brighton first.
Yeah, what a great goal, Brian Gruder. What a lovely bit of
another
composure.
one who talk about recruitment, mate. I've been trying to license the software that Brighton
I think
got.
they are licensed it a little bit.
They keep finding players. James Milner with a penalty kick.
Yeah.
So we were told to start by our research that he's now the second oldest player and the second youngest player to ever score a penalty in the Premier League.
What was it John Champion said today that he scored against goalkeepers born in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and noughties?
Noughties, yeah. I mean, his career is incredible.
Yeah.
I like the celebration to Jota and the point in the numbers. Real respect, which you expect from James Milner. But a Brighton side, Rob, who I was asked before, I think we were previewing this game, and I said, Brighton will test Manchester City because they'll have possession. They can turn counter-attacks quickly. They'll attack in the wide areas where we know City are vulnerable, especially when the fullbacks push on. And I got to be honest, I wasn't that surprised that Brighton won the game.
Well, there's the situation in the studio where there's games going on at the same time, so we're trying our best to focus on one game, but we've got eyes on other games as well. And when I looked at that game, into the second half, it was Brighton that were pushing, that were spreading the ball wide, that were asking questions to go on and win this game, and they did. It does beg the question, where are we in Man City? And again, everything comes to, this is early yet, and we'd always caveat that.
3 games.
But they've had the worst start, I think, any
Under
league
Pep.
campaign under Pep.
Yeah.
The big man scores his goal, Earle Haaland, of course. Is this going to get better, Rob, or do you fear that they might just be okay and that's not okay?
At the start of the season, I think in our preview pod, I kind of felt as though this is going to take a little bit of time. Bedding these players in, understanding the system, are they trying to tweak it in different ways? This isn't just going to happen. It's going to take some time. Now, I think taking time for City is winning a couple of games, drawing a game, losing the odd one.
Enough to finish in the top 4?
Yeah. That would be what I would see City, probably third or fourth.
Yeah.
And then I'm expecting the next season, right, they're back at it again.
But that's fairly positive. A negative slant on it might be, this might not get much better.
Yeah, this could be done.
And this whole Pep's City career and his amazing legacy, if you like, is not going to be tainted. Is this coming to the end? Could this be Pep's last season? If this is a season when they finish 4th or 5th or 6th, do you think he then continues
I
afterwards?
just think
or
there's
we
a
way
very
ahead of
young
ourselves
group
here?
of players who've come in now,
Yeah,
a
I
whole
know.
new group that he might have to mould and teach and school in a way. And if he's got, I think the bigger question is, has he got the drive and the energy to do that again, to go deep again and have all those emotions that we've seen on the side of the pitch that he goes through? I mean, he kicks every ball, he's involved with every action, he's coaching every minute he can. That's the bigger question for me about Pep.
Well, do you know what it's going to come down to, Rob? And it almost invariably does. There's new players that come into that football club. We know that De Bruyne's left and a couple of others that were really important players, Kyle Walker's and a few others. And new players were brought in. If Ryan Shirky, if Tijani Reinders and a couple of others, and you got your Bosco Bobs coming in.
Kuzanov played today, didn't he?
If they aren't of the same quality and can reach the same level as the ones that have drifted away, they're not going to be as good.
Yeah.
So it is going to come down to that. Of course, Pep's influence and coaching ability as well is important, but the players have to be of the quality required.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to watch over the coming weeks to see whether they can be consistent. I mean, to Johnny Reinders, after the first game, we were like, oh, where's this guy been? And then since then, it's been a little quieter. So let's just
pick up an injury as well, and then we hear that he's picked up a
think he has,
hamstring
hasn't
for a couple of months. They're saying he could be out.
I mean, Mamu seems to have dropped a little bit. Is Doku good enough, Rob?
Seems
is
in
he
and
a
out,
is he a
doesn't it?
champion winger, or is he a Europa League? Is he one of those?
Oscar Bob looked lively,
looked
didn't
lively.
he?
He's
looked
involved
one
in the goal a
who's
little bit.
come on.
Yeah.
Foden's.
It was Fest Foden.
Yeah, Silver play today, but there's some questions being asked, and over the next few weeks we'll start to get maybe one or two answers. Let's go to the City Ground, my friend.
Yeah.
I think I was rushing to get here a little bit earlier, but we're going to get to the City Ground. We're going to get to Nuno. A few dark clouds have been sitting over Forest in recent weeks. Apparently,
And West Ham.
And West Ham. Well, actually, you're right. On West Ham, it's certainly a game to keep your eyes on today. Forest, we're hearing that Nuno's talking to the owner this week, and there is sense that maybe things are going to be sorted out there. The West Ham team who went to face Forest, 3 defeats in 3 in 3 games they've had in all competitions. 11 goals conceded.
11 goals conceded.
3 goals. Graham Potter under some pressure, Rob. There's a lot of talk, about the board and whether they'll, act quickly or not. And actually, I was watching TV this morning, and one of the journalists who was on the TV was talking about there's a certain Jose Mourinho, my friend, who's back on the market. He's surplus to requirements. I think it's Fenerbahce he was at, isn't he? And you can kind of see how that might look. But fair play to Graham Potter, because he put an end to any of that happening in the near future with, I thought, a really, really impressive 3-0 victory.
Yeah, I think he went back to basics a little bit, which I think I want to see that.
Yeah.
If I'm a fan of that club and I see what's happened defensively, and he said himself, we're conceding goals too easily. Even though he drops a defender, he goes to a back 4.
Back 4, yeah.
He dropped important players. Wan-Bissaka's generally been very good. He had a nightmare game the other day. Kyle Walker-Peters comes in. Mavropanos comes in as well to play alongside Kilman. Malik Diouf, we quite like as
left side.
back.
Yeah, he's decent, yeah.
And then a midfield protection of 5 players across. That was his foundation today.
He had these kid in as well, Fernandes, didn't he? Mateus Fernandes, who they bought for 5 million.
Yeah, he played on the left-hand side, a little bit more energy.
Yeah, he thought he did
So that's a basis of going forward now. Be stronger defensively.
Yeah.
You have got talent. You've got Lucas Paquetá, who's a talented player. Jared Bowen. We saw those two in the quality that they bring and the goals that they scored.
Yeah.
And that's you just get them behind sorted. And it may be a bit, I don't know, rigid, but you need that to let these guys flourish.
So the point I was making today, and was a thought as I was getting into this game this morning is, does Graham Potter sometimes feel he has to play up to the coaching, thinking football guy, where today was about, hold on, they weren't going to concede today. It was about a clean sheet. And we've all been there, Rob, I've been on a bad run, and our gaffer said, I'm going to apologise to the fans before the game, because we ain't going anywhere. We're going to keep a clean sheet. If we nick a corner or we nick something, we nick it, but we're getting a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Graham Potter did that today. Yeah. And I don't think Graham Potter should have any excuses for, at times, saying that's who we're going to be, and taking parts of that because the football's nice.
Yeah, and that's always there.
Yeah,
His DNA is going to be to play
Correct.
attacking players and to get the ball down and to play football.
Have the balance.
If he tilts more defensively, for his overall game and his philosophy and his style, it will go well. You know, it's really hard to play yourself out of bad results and stuff. Oftentimes, all right, let's go back to basics. Let's fill some spaces here. It'll be difficult to break down. I thought it was an excellent performance. I mean, the City ground for Forest is a difficult place to go for any team.
Difficult, yeah.
And the goals came a little late. The celebration from Lucas Paquetá.
Yeah.
I mean, was
so he
funny.
takes a penalty kick, doesn't he? He scores a goal, and then he runs to the West Ham fans, and he puts his hands to his ear as if it's a phone call, which we believe the reports. So Aston Villa.
Lots of reports that he's going to go to Aston Villa.
And then he kind of throws the telephone away, gets a badge of West Ham and kisses a badge.
Many times.
Many times.
And holds his hand over the... I mean, that was as much as love for that badge.
I mean, this is a
real.
Sunday podcast. Please
let it be real.
Please, Lucas Paquetá, don't be moving to Aston Villa before the transfer window, or we'll have to come for you. But no, it was a good moment. Jad Bowen got his goal.
Great goal, first time finish. Should have scored a worldie, by the way.
Yeah,
Jib was all the way through.
Cam
couldn't help himself. It's right there. He just couldn't help himself to
tell
try
it in. But it was a nice moment, and listen, a different feel to the season for West Ham. Have had a real struggle, and you've had some difficult moments. So, great win for West Ham and Graham Potter. I think Nuno's going to be all right. It's not great to go to the owner when you just got beat 3-0, but I think, he's got enough credit in the bank. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Bournemouth 1.
Breaks on at Spurs, and whoa.
By the way, again, I just got sold at Bournemouth.
I like Bournemouth.
It's an incredible... I saw somebody say the other day, how much credit should we be giving Bournemouth? Outstanding.
Yeah.
They played at Liverpool and were very, very unlucky to lose 4-2 that day. Very, very unlucky.
Yeah.
And you see them play, Robbie, they've got an energy. Apparently their running stats and their pressing stats are off the charts in terms of anybody else.
Yeah.
They play good football. Everybody looks like they know what they're doing.
They've got some quality as well.
Yeah, they've got good players.
They've got some good players.
I mean, you just think that what they've sold. You think what they've sold this summer. Howson, Kirkes, the centre-back.
Norgard.
No.
Hyson. Dean Hyson.
Yeah.
Kirkes.
The other centre-back.
Zabani. Yeah, Zabani.
And then
the goalkeeper went?
The goalkeeper, yeah. I mean...
Oh, no, yeah, it's... I
love
what they do.
Ouattara's just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4 big players to lose out your team.
Semenyo, if I'm a director, I'm surprised there's not more interest in Antoine Semenyo. We've got to look at him firsthand at Anfield. Powerful, strong, skillful, big personality.
Gave Kirkes
It gave him a real tough game, yeah. So brilliant for them. I mean, a bit of a, not reality check, but it's like, whoa, Tottenham. Because it looked really, really good on Thomas Frank, and people were getting very, very excited. A poor performance from Tottenham. Again, it's not easy to see all the games in every detail with so much going on in over 2 games of this Premier League weekend. But that's quite the result for Bournemouth, and just a little bit of a chill for Tottenham.
For Spurs fans, though, they did parade Javi Simmons around the ground before.
Yeah.
midfield player who can
good
come
window,
on.
By the way, Tottenham.
Yeah, good young age.
Yeah, he's
come
plays
in,
a 10. He's a winger. He's skillful. He's like I feel like he's like a James Maddison, but with more pace and more skill and more dribbling ability, but also can play a little bit and find a pass. So with him, you got Kudus. They've made some decent signs. Palinha is really important in midfield. I kind of like their window.
Yeah.
So a bit of a stumble today, but again, I think we weren't massively surprised given what we've seen in Bournemouth.
Absolutely,
they're a good outfit.
Stadium of Light, my friend, is becoming a bit of a story. Sunderland 2, Brentford 1. Thiago with the goal for Brentford goes 1-0 up. And then Lafay gets a penalty back. And then Wilson Isidore scored goals for them in the Championship. Well, what a week he's had, apparently.
Birthday.
Wednesday, birth of a daughter. Flies to the game, gets his goals in the Premier League.
No sleep, by the way.
Yeah,
24 hours of no sleep.
I mean, he's got to do that every week.
Off the bench,
that's how it comes.
Scores the goal. Yeah, brilliant.
Sunderland, my friend, look like they're going to give this a really good go. I mean, it's early, we're 3 games in, but you've often said it on the show.
Classic.
And
this is classic, what you're going to say.
Home form can keep you in.
Promotion, euphoria.
Yeah, and home form can keep you in the Premier League. You've got 19 home games. If you can win 8 or 9 of those, Rob, you're going to pick the odd points up away from home.
Yeah.
That can keep you in the league.
Yeah, that's what they're experiencing right now. That excitement of the fans there. What's it, 49,000 people
49,000 people sell out.
And they're going mental.
Yeah.
They're absolutely loving
Back-to-back home wins now.
Yeah, and keep riding it. Keep riding it, because you need them. Because we all know what this season gets like a little later.
And you can
it's
get
a slog.
a bad run.
This is a brand new team. This is a new team with so many new players all over. It's a whole new midfield. You got 220. You got Habib Diarra's 21 years of age.
Yeah.
You got Sadiqi's 20 years of age.
Yeah.
And Granit Xhaka, 32, who's holding it all together. Young wingers and Talbi.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lefebvre was there from last year. He played particularly well.
Mayenda's 20.
Mayenda's goals last season. Isidore coming off the bench, goals last season.
So they're a mix, but they're mostly a new team.
Yeah.
And this is a great start for them. Great start. Kind of one of the stories really so far of this early season of how, as a promoted team, they are. What have they got? They got 6 points, haven't they? They lost one. Yeah,
6 points.
2 wins and a loss in the 3 games. Quite
well,
the story.
Listen, a point a game, 38 points, keeps you in the league, and they'll be in the show. And before we go on, mate, I'm going to go to my underappreciated performer of the week.
Oh.
And it's a manager who I didn't know that much about, Regis Lebris.
Yeah, we didn't even try to say his name, are we?
Brilliant. Regis Lebris.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
who doesn't love that name?
It's a cool name, yeah.
But first time in the Premier League, as you say, gone out in the transfer market, but a number of players look like they've fatted the squad up to deal with the Premier League. They're going to have a bit about them. They've got a little bit of pace, a little bit of experience.
I like youth. They've got plenty
they
of
missed
youth.
Dan Ballard, who's their best centre-back, who's good in both boxes. Robbie's one of those who, you might just grow into, being a good Premier League centre-back. So, just, how daunting it is. And we've seen managers come up and, over the years, we've seen the Sheffield Uniteds and the Derbies and the teams just not really have a go. This guy's coming with a game plan. He's coming with an energy. Looks like he's got his teams well organised. And I just a hat off to,
Tip the hat to
it's not always a star name.
I watched his press conference, and he's kind of cool character.
Yeah.
He's very laid back.
Laid back, yeah.
Super laid back. He's like very humble, and I love that in a manager.
Yeah.
And he's got a difficult job of trying to mould. Can you imagine a new team into this league? Very, very difficult. They've had a brilliant start.
I mean, getting Granit Xhaka was the top bit of business.
Yeah. Well, you said that right at the beginning in terms of
he was one of my
great
signings. 225 Premier League games for Arsenal.
Leader. Absolute leader.
Leverkusen,
champion.
running places, good experience. Seemed like the other players love him, respect him.
For the young ones around him, those 2 midfield players either side of him, absolutely perfect.
It was interesting because it was a day when Jordan Henderson was playing for Brentford, and there was talk that he might have been that Granit Xhaka guy. He was at Ajax and wanting to get away, and that didn't work for whatever reason, and Xhaka's got the spot. But they're going to be a good watch. They're going to be a great watch this season, Sunderland. Hoping that they can hang in there, Rob. We need to see one of these promoted teams staying in the league this year.
Talking about a great watch this season, Everton Football Club. What's going on? The score this weekend: Wolves 2, Everton 3. Njai, Beto, Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
They look like a team that's enjoying life, enjoying the new stadium, enjoying a manager that's enjoying great football, that's enjoying the new ownership, that's spending money on great players. They're a different looking team. And absolutely the right way of doing it. Everton, we've seen over the last few years, even under the previous manager, they're good at the back. They got a really good goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford's one of the best 3 in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He's right there.
Yeah. Centre-backs generally
Centre-backs
good,
are really
solid,
good generally. I think some of them, a couple are still not fully
Keenan
fit yet.
Tarkowski played, didn't he?
Yeah.
There's no...
Branthwaite's to come back.
Yeah.
They're experienced back there, and they're really beefing up the attacking midfield. The 3 behind the 1.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it, and I'm here for it. And it's all going to go on Jack Grealish, the praise and the credit, and fair play. He's got great numbers already. But Kieran Dewsbury Hall takes his goal really well.
Yeah.
And my underappreciated performer.
Go on, he's going there early.
And I'm saying it because Jack Grealish is going to get all the love, all the attention.
Quite rightly with his 4 assists.
But there's an equally important player, Iliman Njai. He's the historic character who scored the first goal at that new stadium, Hill Dickinson Stadium. Every time, he's one of them, Rob, that every time you see something good of Everton or a goal, he's involved. Scoring, assisting, dribbling, earning free kicks, penalties or whatever. He is better than what anybody thinks. I'm sure the Everton fans and the club know how good he is.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's
I know
got
what you
good
mean.
energy. He's skillful. He's effective.
Player.
He makes things happen when he gets the
Yeah.
ball. Love those players. Very rarely he's one of those sideways
Safe
and backwards.
back.
He's looking to do something, and another big game, an effective game for Iliman Ndiaye. He's my underappreciated performer.
Well, I'm going to do a Robbie Mustoe on you and say, cool your jets, you're only playing Wolves, and Wolves are nothing. But no, I take your point. Ndiaye, I've got to say, I couldn't love him anymore. Seen him a couple of times live as well, and he's short, Rob. He's intelligent, he can play off combination play, he can dribble past people. So you're right. I'm going to go to the two people. Jackie Grealish. It's just so nice to see a player go back into a football club where he feels important. He wants to play football. He wants to be involved. He wants to be hugged by the fans. The Villa, it almost looked like the Villa Jack Grealish, who enjoys his football, who plays on the edge. And he can be a game changer, Robin, in that role.
Really can.
He can be a game changer. The second person I've got to go to, and you've touched on, is David Moyes, by the way. David Moyes, I think, Rob, and Tim speaks to this better than I ever could. I think he's in a stage of his career where he's a little bit more open to those, having a few more of those attacking. I think he's prepared to tilt it a little bit more that way now. We spoke to him in the summer and he talked about, didn't want to just survive at this club. He wants to get back to Europe. He wants to get back to that.
Brilliant.
And that, I think because of what he's done and he's standing in the game now, he feels a little bit more, I wouldn't say confident, because I don't think of it, but assured in, I'm going this way, we can do this. And he's getting better footballers in the football club.
Yeah, I'm thinking of an analogy. It's not a great analogy, but his DNA, like Graham Potter's DNA is more attacking, his DNA is defending. Yeah. So he's always gonna naturally
go back to that.
Focus on that, and if things start to look a little open, he'll address it. But he's tilting on the attacking side of it, and I love the change and the difference and the confidence. And just quickly on Everton Football Club and the fans. God, we've followed this league now for many. They've gone through some horrific moments, seasons, turmoil, worry, bankruptcy, ownership, money that's put them spending so much money, puts them into trouble.
Loans here,
and now they're in this beautiful new stadium with a guy that gets it, and a new ownership group that's backed the manager.
It looks like there's money available.
Yeah,
decent recruitment.
I'm just relieved for the Everton fans that have been suffering for so long, and Roger Bennett and all those those Everton fans out there that have been tortured. Maybe is the worst time to say this, because it might start going pear-shaped. But 3 games in, I'm looking at the table, 5th place in the Premier League in that new stadium. Jackie Grealish doing the business. Good story. They're a good story right now.
Good story. Let's go to Aston Villa, where Villa Park isn't such a good story at the moment, Rob. There's something slightly flat about Villa and Unai Emery and the team, who were well beaten 3-0 by a, as ever, well-coached Crystal Palace team. We'll talk a little bit more Palace in a minute, Rob, because I think the story was, for me, the lack of energy, intensity, excitement around Villa Park that in the past I've said is one of the toughest places in Premier League football to go.
Isn't it amazing, Rob, how it can look so different, look and feel? Now, whether that's because last season was an amazing ride, those Champions League nights at Villa Park under the lights were outstanding. And there's very good players there.
But let's go to that end of the season. Remember the goal that got disallowed that would have taken them to Champions League, which would have given a certain amount of money, which would have kept players in there.
Everything. Excitement, another season in the Champions League.
More
they might
recruitment.
have just known who we're going to be playing in the Champions League now.
It's a whole different thing in it. Europa League.
You had Asensio, excitement. You had Rashford coming in.
PSR,
you had the Champions League. And it's like, whoa. And it's just gone to a... Everything
about... They've spent a little bit of money. Gassan's come in, haven't they? Got 1 or 2 others who've come into the team.
They sold Jacob Ramsey, a midfield player that I like. But this whole PSR thing, they sold the ladies team, I think. So they've had a bit of issue with that. And it's just a little flat. And Unai Emery, we love him.
Yeah.
And he's a top-class manager. I just think, okay, you've got to reset a little bit. You've got to reset, and try and get that spirit up again, because this club is full of spirit. But that today was like, wow.
Might be losing his goalkeeper, by the way, might he?
He's going to lose Emi Martinez.
Emi Martinez.
Like,
there's talk that he's on his way to Manchester United, possibly getting that deal done tomorrow. So that's another big personality out of the dressing room. But let's talk about Crystal Palace for a moment, mate, because I think you said to Bex, which I thought, was it like, has there ever been a better time to be a Crystal Palace fan? Is this as good as it gets?
I think it might be as good as it gets. And, Rebecca was like, and I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
That's where we are. We live for moments that we've just lived the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
This will keep us happy for many, many seasons, which is great.
Yeah.
Because their expectations are so low. But from my point of view, I'm like, it's kind of still a little sad. What a good team.
Yeah.
What
Brilliant
a good team that's been
really
put together by
put
brilliant
together.
recruitment.
Yeah.
The manager was a great get in Oliver Glasner. And we're seeing a progression in this club and the team that's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
But it ain't going to be able to. It's just not going to be able to
Well,
show us that, because they're going to lose your best talent within that group.
But you say that, Rob, and to your point, he's playing a system that Ruben Amorim can't get a tune out of Manchester United players. Exactly the same system.
Yep.
So
it's possible.
It's possible. They lost Michael Elise last season. They've lost Eze so far this season.
Yeah, Zaha before that.
So they've lost players,
I know.
and it hasn't particularly gone too much the other way. The recruitment's right. They've got a good coach.
Well, that's okay.
So, of course, if you keep losing the players of the quality of what we're talking about, then it's all, Villa have shown us that it's going to affect you. But this manager and this football club are riding the crest of a wave at the moment, and into the Europa Conference League. It's a competition they could win, by the way.
They could really win it.
They could go and win it and get into the Europa League. Just want to quickly talk about Mark Gay, mate.
Yeah,
and we're talking on Sunday,
we got
ahead of possibly the transfer window closing tomorrow.
Tomorrow on the Monday,
2 p.m. Eastern Time,
1st
7
September,
p.m. in the UK. In light of what we've seen with Wissa and Isaac and a number of players who've pushed, forced, down tools, throw the toys out the pram in terms of desperately want to move. Here's a guy, Rob, Mark Gay, captain of Crystal Palace Football Club. There's talk that there's a deal somewhere around the 40 million mark to take him to Liverpool. The two clubs are supposed to discuss it. There's a possibility he moves there tomorrow. This guy still wants to play against Aston Villa, risking possible injury and the thing not happen.
Yeah.
Captains the team, scores a brilliant goal. Does a great interview after the game and talks about how he just wants to concentrate on the football. He doesn't want the spotlight on him. If there was ever a player, Rob, who, the big thing for managers now is checking their ability and technical, checking personality. Let me tell you, this guy's personality shines out like a beacon.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
He's a good
one. Absolute good one. He's 25 years of age. He's going to be cheap at £40 million, £40 million pounds, and whoever gets him is going to get a good one.
They get a good one. He's, as you ought to say, Rob, he's plug and play. He's ready to go at any level. He's maybe the best English centre-back for the England national team. Yeah. If it is Liverpool, what a great addition that's going to be to their defensive setup. Reliable, humble, rarely injured. The goal he scored today, and the celebration, Rob, like the whole knee slide. I'm not sure, has he ever knee slide?
I don't think he knew how to knee slide.
I know, but the knee slide, the arms in the air, like on the ground, like it's my sign-off a little bit, maybe.
Gift, wasn't it?
Right in front of the Crystal Palace fans. I just thought that was a really one of the moments of this weekend. A player that's given everything, talked afterwards about being a South London boy. He's been a captain at various age levels in this club, and now it looks like he's going to move on to a bigger club, a more successful club for sure, in Liverpool if it happens tomorrow. But I always get the impression if it doesn't happen, he's okay with it. Yeah, he'll carry on and be an excellent, the best player at Crystal Palace for the next game in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great.
What
was it? There's a game at LMO, Leeds 0, Newcastle 0. Hard-fought game. Daniel Farke's team are kind of holding their own and showing.
I don't mind Leeds. I'm enjoying watching Leeds.
Yeah. A little bit short at the top end of the pitch.
A little bit short at the top end.
Quality.
Yeah. Okafor, the new player that I think they're hoping is going to be a difference maker.
Okay.
In that attacking area. I think the Dan Jameses, the Wilfred Gnonto, the Jack Harrison, good.
Yeah, but
But,
just
but
not quite the level.
Enough end product to create the chances to score the goals that might be enough.
Calvert-Lewin,
We'll
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, again, you just don't know what you're going to get in terms of games.
Yeah, fitness
It's
and
just
games.
a big if, and with him, it's like if he stays fit and if
There's 15 goals in him if he stays fit.
he stays fit for 35.
Yeah, he's got to catch fire, hopefully, hasn't he? He's got to start to enjoy that.
But the rest
that
of it,
Leeds
I like.
crowd.
People watch Jaden Bogle.
Yeah.
He's just he's a journeyman a little bit. He's been around a little bit.
Does a
good
good job.
attacking fullback. I like the midfield. Anton Stack, the new player from Hoffenheim, $23 million.
Looked good, didn't he?
Tall, does a bit of everything in there.
Aggressive,
Short,
yeah,
long
gets
staff can
across the
play a
pitch.
little bit. They've still got Ampadu to come back injured.
Ampadu, yeah.
Tanaka, I think he was a player of the year last year, Rob Tanaka. Tanaka, midfield. So I like him in the midfield and the back four.
Is there going to be enough goals?
Is there going to be enough goals?
Yeah, that's a question.
0-0 in this game. Newcastle United, Rob, Nick Voltemada.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, signed.
Nick Voltemada.
And there could be one possibly in the door tomorrow, either a Wisa or Stan Larsen, we're hearing.
Yeah, and they might lose Isak. That might go through, which you said all along. He's going to go.
Yeah.
I said, is he? Like, they can put their foot down.
I don't feel it's going to happen.
If
Certainly
they get the right
Voltemada
players,
in.
they wanted to get the right players in.
Yeah.
Which they got one of them.
Spend the money. Yeah, they got one.
And it's got to be the right fee.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Our
we got
David
24.
Ornstein.
Yeah. Still not sure. He said
there's no deal
there's
yet.
no guarantee.
There's no guarantee he's going to go.
Yeah.
So I think Newcastle fans are going to like Voldemort of what we've seen.
He looks a player,
like
doesn't
a
he?
Colt type of character.
6 foot, what is he?
6'6", and he's a dribbler.
Yeah, he's a dribbler. He's a 10. Can play as a 9. He's a lovely feet.
Yeah, number 10 playing in the number 9's body is the comment from I think a German commentator. So not a great day for Newcastle. And the manager said, Rob, afterwards, maybe we were a little tired after the exertions of 10 men against
10 men against Liverpool, where they played particularly well and emotionally lost that game.
But we will see. That's a 0-0. Yeah. It's a disappointing game, really, given the nature of those two huge clubs in the north of England.
OK, mate, we're just going to do a quick preview before we go, because it's the international break. We'll be back on Sunday, September the 14th. And there's a little matter of the Manchester derby. So Manchester City at the Etihad hosting Manchester United. And there's not many times when recently Manchester United have been ahead of Manchester City in the table. So this game carries a little bit of extra attention due to the form of City and what we talked about with Pep. Where are we with Manchester United? And, are they a Man United who can still pick it up for big games? Yeah. What's your gut on how that might look?
My gut, my quick brain is saying to me, this could be anything, right?
From either of the teams?
From these two teams matching up, like they're nowhere near where they want to be.
Yeah.
Could be anything. If I think about it a little closer, and I think about how it might go, and I think about the strengths and weaknesses of both teams, maybe because I'm a midfield player, I always look at that area first.
Who's going to win
and
that?
Man City's little tiki-taka around the two players in the middle of the park, which is one of their weak spots.
Yeah.
Is that going to be too much? If they have that much dominance there, the big lad up front, Earle Haaland's probably going to get some through balls and finish them, maybe. I would favour Man City, but with this game and the way the season started, who knows? Ruben Amorim might counter-attack and find a way to win, because City they're not great defensively now in the balance of the team.
No.
What do you?
I'm also thinking of the system, and I just think that Pep will find a way to pin those wing-backs back.
He will.
So they'll end up with 5 defenders.
We know what he's going to do. He's going to put 2 wingers out there.
Yeah, and they're going to stay out wide.
So
or the wing-backs going to come in, and
or
the
they're going to say,
centre-backs,
centre-backs, you go out there.
Correct.
I'm going to continue.
And I don't think centre-backs are going to go out there, so I think it's going to leave the wing-backs in, and then they're going to dominate midfield through numbers.
You've got 5 flat.
Correct.
2 guys in front of that.
Yeah.
Well, they've just got to get the wide players to come right in. And that push on the back foot a little bit.
You're in problems. Yeah. So I would expect City to get the job done at home, but we're not too sure where City are at the moment, but a good one to look forward to. So, mate, that's it for this weekend.
Oasis. I'm going to Oasis tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Thank me. Oasis playing in New York.
Mate.
MetLife Stadium.
Take some pictures. Let us know.
Let us know. Bucket hat, Oasis T-shirt.
Oh, the Brit.
Good to go.
The Brit is back. So it was the champions Liverpool who won the big game at Anfield. They put some 3 points ahead at this very early stage of the season. Man U, they left it late. Man City, they lose late. And West Ham get their first win of the season. We take a week off. It's international break, but don't forget, September the 14th, Sunday, the Manchester derby, where City host United at the Etihad. But for now, I'm Earle. He's Mustoe. Together with the two Robbies. Thanks for watching and listening. Be safe. Stay healthy. It's a good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.